Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your rather busy schedule. I see that you are quite held up in this visit, as always. But we are always very grateful for your presence in Barcelona, and many people are here eager to hear from you. And so hopefully we can provide that knowledge and fulfill their curiosity and send them to the imagination of Vedanta world.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sri. It's a pleasure always to come to Barcelona and also to meet you. And I've been to your place in Hardinhara. It's a beautiful place. And, you're doing a great job here promoting the Sanatan Dharma and its values in people in Europe. So it's a great job that you're doing.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. It's great. It's great to hear that. So maybe for starters, you could give them a brief about how you met your guru and how you found this path that now you are into.
Actually, I did not find my guru, or I did not find this path. My guru found me, and the path also found me. So I was just a normal human being, like a normal boy, of 16 years. My guru, Sri Bhagwan, was our neighbor. He used to live just one house apart from our house.
Right.
So he was a great family friend also. He used to come to our house. And, he was a very social human being from when I have seen him. Means I have seen him from my birth. So he was very social, and he was very kind to people. He used to help people. So I have seen some of his works when I was very small, very young. During my 8 or 9 years old, I have seen him working for the betterment of people. That in India, it's a great issue to arrange marriage for the girls.
Totally.
So he used to collect money from people so that these marriages of the girls can be done. That is what I remember, Okay. Then we had a club in our locality where I have seen him, starting this free education center where people used to come and take education. Later, he became very interested in theater. So we saw some of his plays, and fortunately, when I was around 12 or 13, he selected me in one of his roles in one of his plays. So I acted as his son in with his play. So there also I have seen him very sincere, very, very dedicated, very devoted. He was the director as well as actor, and he used to maintain everything, like from the music, from sound, from dress, from stage, everything. And everything was so perfect with him. The rehearsal that we used to go and do it with him, it was also very nice to, like, now when I grew up, I remember those times when he was so perfect and so dedicated. So that also plays a part in my life now. I've seen him so devoted into that. After that, after the play, I was busy in my studies, and so suddenly I heard that he have stopped performing on stage. And he has decided this, that he will not perform in the stage. So it was a little bit disappointment, because everybody liked him, everybody loved him, and everybody, would like to go and get see the plays. And one more thing about his honesty, that this is also I remember when I was playing with him. So that particular play, it was a Bengali play. His name was Kirti Gaur. So people had to have tickets. They had to buy tickets for that. My parents bought tickets. What really surprised me was his wife also purchased ticket to watch the play. It was really, and I remember that at that time people were talking about this, see how honest this man is, that even his wife, because everybody has to buy a ticket, so his wife also bought a ticket. So this was him So after some time, I heard that he is not going to do any play. He has left it completely, and it surprised me and it surprised everybody. I have also, because we are very close family friends, so I've seen many of our, at that time, people who were connected with him, all those members who used to play, who used to be part of his group,
Yeah.
they came and they requested him, but he did not agree to it.
So what were the kind of plays that you used to do, if you can also?
They were all very means historical plays.
Okay.
Or some of them were from Rabindranath Tagore.
Okay.
You know that Rabindranath
Yes.
has written a lot of
course.
plays.
Yes.
And also there are many good writers in Bengal. So he used
Yes.
to take those plays, and he used to do this. And he was the main actor at that time. So when he decided that he is going to leave this, it surprised everybody.
After how many such plays he must have taken this
I
decision?
have played with him. I think I have played with him in 1980, when I was like 9 years old or 10 years old. Hardly after that, means maybe 2 seasons. That is during 81 or 82, he have left the play.
Okay.
That stage, So that was actually because of his master.
Okay.
We didn't know that.
I see.
Because he was in contact with his master. He went to his master in 1978, and he got initiated from Swami Probuddhananda ji.
Okay.
Swami Probuddhananda ji was the disciple of Swami Krishnananda ji.
Okay.
And Swami Krishnananda ji was the disciple of Mother Sarada Devi, who was the divine consort of Thakur Ramakrishna.
Okay.
So Swami Probuddhananda ji, at one point, he said to him that you should leave all this name and fame and concentrate totally on spirituality. And that is what he did. But at that time, nobody understood, because he didn't say this to anybody. So he was doing this, pursuing this spiritual life completely in a secret way, on his own. But my father was also a kind of spiritual person. So because he was very close to us, he was a family friend. So my father used to be with him very much, almost all the time. And at that time, I saw a lot of changes in my father. My father used to meditate. One day I saw my father meditate for the whole night. In our temple, in our house. Every house has a temple in India. So in our temple, I saw my father was meditating for the whole night. So it was at the time I was not at the position to understand or misunderstand or anything or react. But I've seen this. I remember this, that I have seen one day my father spent the whole night in meditation, and this actually was because of him.
Was because of
my
Bhagwan,
master Bhagwan.
Bhagwanji, yes.
Because my father got associated with him.
Okay.
And that is why these things started to happen. So after that, after some time, my mother also started to go to him. So you are from India. You know that how people in India, they are so obsessed with their children.
Yes.
Studies.
Yes.
So whenever I used to study, my mother used to always sit close to me, and they were all obsessed with study. And at that time, the TV was coming. I'm talking about 1986, 89, 87. So at the time, this television was also entering into the houses. So my father did not buy a TV because he thought that it would be disturbing for my education.
Yes.
But ultimately, he bought a TV. During World Cup, I think, during 1987, there was a World Cup. Perhaps you remember.
Yes,
cricket
after
World
83,
Cup.
then it's 87.
Yeah, 87.
Yeah, correct.
So I did a lot of, shouting in the house, so they bought a TV.
Right.
But they had a very clear, instruction for me that only I can watch the news and nothing else. So, and this is because of my mother. She used to always sit close to me, and this. But as she was going to Bhagwan, slowly I saw a difference in her approach towards me. I saw she was getting a little bit of dispassionate. She was getting uninterested in me. And one day I was watching some of the serials which was completely banned in our house, like those serials. And she had she said nothing to me. That actually, pained me a little bit. So what happened was, within our house, there was one house in between our and Bhagwan's house. So this person had cancer. He was detected as cancer. So, so because he was detected as cancer, so he thought that before I die, I should marry my son. So there was a marriage of his son, and because it was a railway colony that we used to live, these railway colonies were like a full family. Like we had many families living together in a colony in a neighborhood, but it was like a complete one family.
Okay.
So when this marriage was conducted, so my mother got involved into this marriage, and my food was arranged in Bhagwan's house. So in the morning, I used to go to Bhagwan's house, take my food there, go to school, come back, and take my food in Bhagwan's house and come back to my house. This was my routine.
Okay.
One day, in the morning, I went for breakfast. And there I saw Bhagwan was also there. At the time, I used to call him uncle, because he was like our neighbor and family friend.
He was also from the railways?
Yeah, he was also in the railways. So when I saw him, I was a little bit, angry also with him, like from my inside, in the subconscious level, because I saw my mother change. So I thought that my mother actually changed because she was coming to this person. So there was a little bit of rage, anger also in me. So with this anger, I asked him, what do you do here? Why my mother has become like this, that she is not interested in me? What is happening? In this way, I asked. So he said that we are trying to discover the truth. So at that time, I was in class 11, or 10 or 11. For me at that time, like 16 or 17 years, it was truth. What is truth? So I asked him, what is truth? So then he said that truth means God. Truth means everything that it is. If you speak the truth all the time, so within 12 years, you are going to realize God. You don't need to perform any penance or any sadhana or anything. Just by speaking the truth, you can attain God. So I said that, it's very difficult for me to speak the truth. Because, if I tell my mother that I'm going to play, she will not let me go to play.
Yeah.
So I have to tell her that I'm going to study in some friend's house, and in that way I have to go to play.
Right.
So I cannot speak the truth. And in this way, after saying this, I came back to my house. But when I came back to my house, I was a little bit feeling guilty that he's a respected person, and I should not have said this thing, in this way to him. So then I decided that I cannot speak the truth. It's true because it's difficult, but at least I can stop speaking lies. So after that, when I used to go to play, I did not say anything. I just disappeared, So I did not speak the truth, but I stopped speaking the lies, So in my friend circle also, I was practicing so that I don't lie.
Right.
One day, in the evening when I was studying, I could not study because I was feeling very very anxious, anxiety, there was very anxiety in me. I don't know why I could not concentrate in my studies. So I went out of my house into the veranda, and I was just, just moving, and at the time, suddenly I saw his house. He was sitting outside his house, meditating, and there was a person sitting also, in his feet. They both were meditating in the evening, and a very small light was there. And that picture, that scene, that attracted me so much. I don't know why. I just I ran to him, to his house. And I was, after I went to his house, I was just watching them meditate. So he was meditating. After some time, he opened his eyes and he saw me standing there. So he said that, why are you here? That day you said that you cannot speak the truth. Why are you here now? So I said that actually, yes, that day I told you that I cannot speak the truth. but I am practicing to speak the truth. The moment I said this, he jumped into me. And he hugged me and he started to, this is what I want. This is the thing. You cannot do it in one day. You have to try. And yes, you will do it. And, the way he was speaking,
and encouraging.
I was thinking, is speaking the truth so important? And, I was really encouraged. And wow, but I was feeling as if I was like, I have, secured first position in my board exam. This is this way.
Yeah.
Just by speaking the truth, somebody can be so happy. So that was one of the incidences. And then again, life went on. That's it. I came back. So perhaps you remember. I don't know.
At that moment, you already got initiated.
No. I was just this is just a.
But you were convinced with
nothing. I just had it. I had some feelings, but it was not so much that I could go to him.
Okay.
It was up to that point. So the next, there were some incidences. So that actually led me to go to him completely. So another incident was, I don't know whether that there was a teleserial called Mahabharat, which used to get telecasted,
of course,
on Sundays.
Yes.
So that was a very favorite, television serial for all of us. People used to come to our house because there were fewer televisions. So people used to, from the neighborhood, used to come to, and it was like a fun, watching Mahabharat with everybody. But just before the Mahabharat started one day, people chew pan in India. So my mother gave a pan to me and said, go and give it to uncle, means go and give it to Bhagwan.
Yeah.
I will not go. I said, no, I cannot go now. I will watch this TV. And she was like, go, and this way. So there was a break for 2 minutes in between, this Mahabharat. So when the break came, so I just said, okay, I'm going, I will give it and I will come back. So when I went to his house, the house was completely empty. And the same person who was there on that day, sitting in his feet, his name is Pradeep Rai, Sri Pradeep Rai. He is the Vice President of International Vedant Society today. So he was again sitting outside the house. So I went and I said that, okay, Pradeep Da, where is uncle? Come. Sit here. Keep quiet. What happened? He's in samadhi. So this was the first thing, first word that I heard the first time, samadhi. He's in samadhi. Sit here. I said that, okay, I thought that maybe it's like some meditation or something. So I said that, okay, I have brought this pan. So when he comes out, you give it to him. He said, no, you give it to him. I said, Pradeep, this Mahabharata is going on. I have to go. I cannot leave it. No. You sit here. After he comes out, you give him. And, at the time, this Mahabharata actually started and, and I was very, very uncomfortable with that. And because he was, he was elder to me and we respected each other, so I could not go.
Right.
But I was very, unhappy. That day, Bhagwan had a very deep samadhi. So samadhi means when you completely, get immersed into self, the self or superconscious state. So when a spiritual person has this superconscious state, nobody is supposed to be around. And if somebody has to be around, it should be, very selected, means spiritual, person who has that kind of spiritual elevation, they can only stay. Nobody can stay. It's completely it's from nature, it doesn't happen like that. But that day when he came out of his house, he saw me first. And he was very amazed to see me. And again he hugged me. And he said that, wow, Pradeep, you write in your diary that this boy will change in future. So at the time I was, preparing to go to the army, Indian army. So I thought that maybe I will go to the Indian army, I will die for my country and I will do some good work, So I was thinking, okay, yes, I'm preparing for the army, and I want to die for my country and this and that. But he said that, he's going to, his life is going to change. That day also I felt something very deep inside. But that's it. I came back and I forgot. Now, again, this time went on. And this person who had cancer, he was, in a very difficult state, completely in a terminal state. So one day my mother came and she said that go and bring a ambulance. You have to take him to the hospital. So I brought an ambulance and we took him to the hospital. Bhagwan also accompanied with us to the hospital. So the doctor said that he's not going to leave, so he take him back to his house, let him be there in his own way. So we came back, and after we came back to our house, Bhagwan said, would you like to have a tea with me in my house? So I went with Bhagwan to have a tea with Bhagwan. And there we were discussing that if he is going to die in the night, what will happen, anything can happen any time. When I was saying these things, suddenly he said that he will not die in this house. He will die in the hospital. And I will not be here at that time. I will be in the office. His health will deteriorate. And you all will take him to the hospital. And in hospital, he will die. I was surprised. I said, what is the relation between your not staying here or he's dying? He can die anytime. He can die now. Bhagwan said, no. I have seen the truth. Where I stay, death cannot enter. His health will deteriorate. I will be in the office. His health will deteriorate. You people will take him to the hospital and he will die in the hospital. After listening to this, I was like completely crazy. Means I didn't know what to do. What is he saying? Is it normal that a person can say like this? Sometimes I thought that maybe I should tell everybody and, make a joke of it. What is this going on? But something inside me, stopped me. I did not even tell this to my parents. I kept it with myself. My friends, I could have told them to my friends. They could have made a joke out of it, but I did not say anything. I just kept it to myself. And in this way, days went on. One day, we went to the Kamaksha temple, with all my friends. There was some ceremony there, festival there. So we went to Kamaksha temple. When we came back, I saw that the man is died. So I ran to my mother and asked her, where did he die? So my mother said, he died in the hospital. And where was he, uncle? He was not here. He was in the office. You all were not there. We had my mother was saying. And that day, I was so touched that I know somebody who is so truthful. So during this, time when we took that man to the funeral ground, all this time I was only thinking about him, in my mind, that wow, I know this person. I know a person like this whose words comes true, and he is so close to me. But still, I kept a distance from him. After some time. One day he came to our house and he said that, we are going to celebrate Buddha Purnima. That is the birth anniversary of Buddha.
Yeah.
So I want you to come and speak about Buddha in English, he said. I said, okay, I will come. So I went there, prepared, and I gave a speech on Buddha. And after my speech, Bhagwan spoke. So that was the first spiritual speech that I was listening. And I was so touched by the way he was expressing Buddha, Buddha is God. It was completely a new chapter for me was opening up. And I was thinking that Buddha is a human being like us, in flesh and blood. How did he become God? Yes, they are saying Bhagwan Buddha. That is, Buddha is God. How did he become God? What happened to him? So I was thinking like this, but I was very impressed by the way Bhagwan was speaking about Buddha. So after the program, I went to him. I said that, Uncle, really I was very touched by the way you had spoken about Buddha. And I was thinking that my friends in the school, they should listen this, because we all need to know about our culture, our heritage, our our history. So I told him that if I bring my friends, would you continue? Would you repeat the same thing that you said now? He said no. He said, you bring your friends. I will talk to them about Swami Vivekananda. So I brought most of my friends. I collected them. I convinced them, and we arranged a class every Saturday at 4:00 in his house. So in my house. So he used to come. So I attended class 1, class 2, and on the third class, I decided that I will become a monk, and I will serve my country. I will serve my dharma, my Sanatana dharma, my heritage, being a monk, and dedicate my life.
Wow, such an interesting story indeed.
Yeah.
It's really intriguing when you mentioned about how one can see such truth in such a way, and instead of questioning everything, instead of like putting this scientific approach which is very evident with technology driven AI, so one young person in today's age, how I'm not undermining that back then you cannot question, but today, since with the applications and laptops and iPads with small kids and Gen Z, so a young person in today's age, how they can embrace this branch of spirituality. And I would like also you to get into the nuances of the specific branch that you follow, and help us understand a bit more about the introduction of the International Vedanta Society itself.
So actually, see, whatever comes, like AI or whatever, you can have a very advanced scientific development, accomplishment. But the basic thing is that a life inspires life. There is no way that you can convince somebody through external knowledge or through external appliances with your laptops or no. It is the life. The teaching actually comes from life. I was completely, impressed by the way he was. For the next 3.5 or 4 years, I did not understand a word of what he was saying. Vedanta. He used to talk about Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. I didn't understand anything. But I was, I saw him. He was so genuine, so pure, so truthful, so energetic, so lovable. Those are the things which actually attracted me. And he was so human being, he was so human. He was not like a guru or something, like he had a, different kind of, personality, separate from everybody. It's not like that. He was very human. And that is what actually attracted me. And, now when I work with people, I see that if you have truth inside, truth means if you preach what you feel, then whatever age we live in, people will be interested, people will be influenced, people will practice it.
Okay.
And if you speak something which you have not felt, if you just memorize things and you say
you can't just communicate it.
You can have students.
Right.
You can have students, but you cannot have,
disciples.
Not disciples. You cannot have, wise men, wisdom. You will not have, it will be just an intellectual knowledge.
True.
You cannot, transform a life. Like our life was transformed by him. We also had very good career. We also had very good future. This so-called future that people say. I also had that, but I don't have any frustration, or I don't have any guilt that I could not attain what my friends have attained. I'm very happy with what I am today.
But one person can be enjoying the materialistic world and as well as enjoying spirituality.
Sure. Yeah, spirituality is the main thing. You know, you do it with by enjoying your world or not. It's irrelevant. But the main thing is you have to follow spiritual path. You have to follow a path. So this is the thing. We follow Advaita Vedanta. You know, this is the path we follow. But Advaita Vedanta is not only limited to just, you know, realization of the self. When you reach the Advaita Vedanta or Advaita state of Advaita, that is non-dualism, where you are completely one with that supreme consciousness, when you become that consciousness, then you see that every path that is there is true. And you have the wisdom of each and every path.
It's like Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi. When you come to Aham Brahmasmi, this is the ultimate, this is the absolute. But there are many others who does not, you know, talk about Aham Brahmasmi. They talk about dualism. They talk about qualified dualism. So when you reach this state of Aham Brahmasmi, when you reach this state of complete yoga, then you see each and every path that is there. They are, you know, in the beginning you negate every path and you come to this. You negate every thought you have. You negate everything that you see, experience, and you come to this point of, you know, super consciousness. But when you come to this point of super consciousness, then you see that everything is true. Like in the, you know, in the Shiva Mahimna Stotram, there is one thing. Ruchi nam Vaichitram Dhrujukuti nana pathajusham nuna meko gamya tamasi paya savarnava iva. That is, you know, people can follow different paths according to their own, you know, likings or dislikings. They can follow any path. But ultimately, you know, it's one. They have to come to that one. And, you know, the only existence is one. So you can have any path, but you're going to come to that point of oneness. So this oneness is actually, you know, propagated by Advaita Vedanta.
Got it. So one of the earliest known the spreader of knowledge, at least about Advaita Vedanta, as I have learned, is Adi Shankaracharya.
Adi Shankaracharya was one who had, you know, he had, you can say, revived this knowledge of Advaita Vedanta at a time when India was reeling under the ill effects of Buddhism. But Advaita Vedanta was always there. We had Upanishads, Rishis, you know.
Right.
This Agnir Yatha Bhuvanam Pravishta Rupam Pratirupam Bahuba Ekas Tatha Sarvabhut Antaratma Rupam Pratirupam Bahishcha. That is when a fire comes into the house, it burns everything. So it takes the shape of everything, you know, all the furnitures. But the fire is one. Furnitures may be different, but the fire is one. In the same way, each and every person or living being or non-living being may appear different, you know, in the external world, but their existence is one. So these are the, you know, this is from Kathopanishad. So these are the, you know, these are the ideals of Upanishads actually. You know, the Upanishads actually talk about this Advaita Vedanta.
Okay.
Shankaracharya, you know, regulated that.
Okay.
Regulated that so that it can be saved, this knowledge can be saved from this, you know, from this ill effects of Buddhism, that's all.
And I'm still in the process of understanding, like many others probably who are watching it. And for a half-baked person like me, like honestly, I've learned that Vedanta tells that there is everything that is illusion, and then there is everyone that is divine, and so there is more to it. But instead of me going into things that I have learned, I would like you to just mention those typical myths and misunderstandings about Vedanta which nowadays people have. So maybe
so Vedanta talks about the self.
Right.
The self is divine. The self is one. Now, how to reach it? But because, you know, this is infinite. And the self or consciousness is beyond your mind, beyond your intellect. So anything which you know or perceive, you perceive with your mind or senses or intellect. Isn't it? Yes. You see or you think, you know, in this way you judge. So this is how this knowing process happens.
Yes.
But how will you know that which is incomprehensible, which cannot be perceived? Achinta. It's achinta. Avyaktoyam achintoyam. Avikaryoyam uchyate. In the Bhagavad Gita it says. It's avyakta, it's not manifested. So everything that you see is manifestation. But that is unmanifested. That self or that consciousness is unmanifested. So because it is unmanifested, how will you know that? Achintoyam, that cannot be perceived. Like today we are doing this. Why? Because of your perception that we can do it. And this is the result of this, So anything that we do or know is actually perceived before, and then it's the result of that. The work or the action is the result of our perception. So, but if I cannot perceive, then how will I go? Where will I go? I cannot perceive that self, that consciousness. When we talk about infinite, we talk about the sky. We think about the sky, but sky also is not infinite. So your perception of the infinite is not there, but you are actually infinite. So what happens is, the first thing that, it is only the teachers of Vedanta who are so bold. They say, na bidmo, na bijanimo yathai tadanu shishyat. I don't know what is the self. Because why I don't know? Because when I am the self, this knowing process actually stops. Because the knowing process starts with three things. That is, knower, knowledge, and known. So when there will be a knower, when there will be a known, and when this knower and knowledge will be, connected with knowledge, then we can, go through the process of knowing. We said that it's knowing. Like I'm knowing you. So I am here, you are there. We are different. We have difference. We are two. So there is duality. So any kind of knowing process is in duality. When there is non-duality, that what happens is this knower, the known, and the knowledge becomes one. It becomes one. Okay. Samadha vachala buddhistada yogam abapsasi. When the knowledge becomes completely one with everything, when you become completely one with everything, then where is the difference? Whom will you know? Or what will you know? Or by whom or by what will you know? Everything has become one. The knowledge, the knower, and the known has become one. So this self cannot be known. Okay? So it's called aprameyasya. That is, you cannot know it. You can become it, but you cannot know it. So the teacher is saying, I don't know it. Means, I don't know what it is, because when I want to know it, I become that. So the knowing process is done. And also I don't know how to take you to that point. But the only thing is that I can speak about it, my experiences. So this is all Vedanta is all about. The experiences of the master. When you come to the master speaks about his experience with experiences of truth, with the self, with consciousness. And these words, like a child is born to a mother. Okay, in a family, a child is born to a mother. Now, the child is crying. So there are many others in the family. Nobody can understand what the child is crying for. It is only the mother who knows why the child is crying. Either he has a pain in his stomach, or is hungry, or he will sleep, or is missing something. The mother knows everything. How does the mother know? There is a relation. Okay? So that, even the mother of the mother doesn't know why the child is crying. The mother knows everything. Okay? So here also the same thing. When the master talks about his experiences, most of the time it is beyond understanding. You cannot understand anything. You cannot, he will speak in your own language, like Bhagwan used to speak in Bengali. I did not understand one word of what he was saying. But something inside of me understood. Something inside of me understood. Something inside of me confirmed that yes, this is this. This is this. And that one was always pulling me towards itself. So here the Guru is talking about it, but if the disciple has the urge, the urge, then he is going to get it. If he doesn't have any urge, so the main thing for this is you need to have urge to know, mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam. If you do not have mumukshutvam, if you do not have the urge, the desire to know the self, you can have Lord Shiva or Lord Krishna as your guru, but it will not work.
So if I have the urge, but due to so many of the materialistic and the matrix and the world that puts you into focusing on your career, focusing on your job, studies or whatever, and then I have all of this social media addiction, and then there is all of this social social being, we're all social beings, obsessions, exactly. So how, with this 10 minutes that I have in a day to dedicate to spirituality, I can fulfill that urge? Is that even possible?
Actually, Bhagwan used to say one thing very, very much. That is, he used to say every enlightened person has a past. And every unenlightened person has a future.
Wow. Well said.
So it's not about quantity, how much time you give. It's about quality. You can just, for one moment, what I suggest to people is this, that when you wake up in the morning, just have a wish that I am born as a human being. I got this opportunity to be born as a human being. It's, in the Vedic, in our Vedic tradition, it says that it's very difficult to get a human birth. Like in Shankaracharya says, Durlava trayametad devanugraha hetukam manushasya mumukshutva mahapurush sangshraya. So Shankaracharya said there are three things which are very difficult to get. And they are actually, obtained only by the grace of the Lord. The first thing is manushyattvam, a human birth. Mumukshutvam, a desire to know the self. And to have a master. Okay? A real master who can guide you towards the self. So these are the three things which are very rare.
This is what we wish in the morning.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
The only thing that you have to do is just have a wish that I have a human birth. I have a human birth which is very difficult to get. I want to know the truth before departing. That's it. But this, do it with your full mind, with your full faith. There is God. There is God. There is an energy which always guides us. Like, when we walk, there are two energies which works. One is the energy which is taking you towards forward. And the one which is equal and opposite force which is always opposing you. And because of this walking can be possible, or any motion can be possible. Here also, there are two forces which are always acting. One is the force of Vikshepa, which is trying to take you outside. And the force of Guru, which is called Prema, which is always pulling you towards the core. Okay. So as you wish this, you automatically get connected with that force of the Guru. And you will see that without effort, most of the spiritual journey is effortless. Wherever you are putting an effort, you are actually putting your ego, and it ultimately it just inflates your ego. That's all.
Yeah, you become more defensive. You start focusing on how to.
No, that is one, and the other thing is that you start to think yourself to be that which you are not.
And that leads to arrogance. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
I am a spiritual person. What do you mean by a spiritual person? Yeah. Is spiritual person different from any other person? Everybody is the self. Everybody is consciousness. Everybody is divine. You are not special.
So what if somebody comes up and says that I know the truth and I am confident of my truth? Of course, that person must be a little bit borderline arrogant.
No, but if somebody says that I know the truth, if he really knows the truth, it's true. But if he doesn't know the truth and say that I know the truth, that is not true. That is arrogance. Or
How
that
do
is-
you manifest the knowing the truth part?
You don't manifest it. It gets manifested on its own.
Okay.
When you manifest, you actually manifest ignorance. You don't manifest knowledge. That knowledge actually gets manifested on its own, effortlessly. When you go to a master, you will see he's very soft, he's very grounded. He doesn't make any effort to make you understand. Why? Because he knows that he can make an effort which will not work. Because he is not the teacher actually. The teacher is there inside. He will come out. If the student is right, if the student is suitable, then the knowledge will come out on its own. So he doesn't make an effort. He just sits there. Like in Varanasi, we had a guru called Dakshinamurti. He didn't speak. He used to just sit quietly in the banks of river Ganga. Mauna. He was always in the state of mauna. That is, his mind was completely empty. Mauna doesn't mean that you don't speak. It's not like that. Mauna means when you are completely empty from inside. You don't have anything called mind. The only thing that is there is consciousness. So he was always in the state of consciousness. Anybody who used to come near him with a question, they used to get their answer, spontaneously, automatically. They didn't have to ask him, what is this, what is that. They used to sit down there and they used to go into deep state of trance, deep state of meditation. And there they would find their answer. So a guru will never, make an effort to make you understand what is the truth. The guru will pray so that you can understand this. So that the divine manifests itself within you. He can pray, but he cannot make you understand.
Got it. So since there are so many efforts being done by a guru in our lives, I would like to know what is the eternal mission that your guru or Bhagwan, Sri Bhagwan has.
Bhagwan's life was very simple. He had two things which he had as a goal. That is, this knowledge of the Upanishads or Vedanta is not accessible to human being because it is considered to be very tough to know. It's very difficult to know.
Yes.
When you read the scriptures, you see wow, it's so difficult. Bhagwan's whole life was an effort to simplify it, to bring to humanity these very complex ideals in a very easy way. And the medium of this, this exchange of knowledge, there's the exchange of knowledge, means he is a medium of knowledge and you have this ignorance. So when you come to him, you actually, surrender your ignorance to him and this knowledge flows to him. So there's an exchange, always. Right. So this exchange, the medium of exchange will be love, just love. So when you talk about Vedanta, means his disciples, when they talk about Vedanta, they try to serve people, not preach. They try to feel the oneness with everybody. They try to feel that everybody is the same. Only delusion, not even illusion. Vedanta talks about delusion. That is a snake in the rope. There's a rope, but due to darkness, you see it as a snake. The snake is not there, but there's a rope. The snake, if there was no rope and you see a snake, that is illusion. But there is something which you have missed. And in that place you have seen, you have imposed something. There was a superimposition. So the difference between an enlightened person and a non-enlightened person is this, that an enlightened person does not have any imposition. It's like a very clean, clear mirror. A unenlightened person is also a mirror, but it has a light, red light. So the mirror appears red. Though the mirror appears red, the mirror is not red, no? It's the color. The mirror is always colorless.
Yeah.
So even if when I'm appearing red, I'm not red. And that is why it's called Aham Brahmasmi. Brahmasmi means Asmi. Asmi means continue, now, present tense. Though I do not know who I am, but I am the self now. Okay, I am the self now. I do not know. I will know at one point. It's not that after I know I will become that. It's not like that. Aham Brahma Bhavishyami. It's not like that. That I will become Brahman.
Yeah.
I am Brahman now. Though I do not know, though I have impositions, then still I am Brahman. So, the only work is to remove this imposition. And how to remove this imposition? To make you aware that about this imposition. What is the imposition? What is the imposition? It's not from the external world. Whenever we talk about imposition, whenever we talk about bondage, we think that this social media is binding me, this person is binding me, my family is binding me. We always blame others. But Vedanta says the bondage is from your side.
Within.
What is that? It is you. You think that you are a name. You think that you are a body. Like in the Ashtavakra Gita, Ashtavakra tells Janak.
Ashtavakra Gita, yeah.
Janak, that yadi deham prithak kritva chiti vishrama tishtasi. What does it mean? Yadi deham prithak kritva chiti vishrama tishtasi. If you can separate yourself from the body. Now how will you separate yourself from the body? It's not possible. You have to separate this notion that I am this body. Okay? Because we always know that I am this body. When you see in the mirror, you see your face, you see your form, and you think that this is me. But this is your body. You and the body are different, isn't it? My body means it's not me. So, but I always think myself to be a body. My name. It's also my name. It's not me. My mind, my intellect, my ego. Everything is mine. Where is me?
Conscious.
I'm conscious. But do you feel that consciousness? You don't feel that consciousness.
Yes.
You are always aware about things which you are not. I am this. You are aware about the body. You are about the name. You are about the mind, intellect, ego. You are aware about this. But you are not aware about that which you are. That is I. You are not aware about that. So here when it says, yadi deham prithak kritva chiti brisham, if you can separate yourself from this notion that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the ego. And for one moment, just for one moment, if you can perceive, I am the self. I'm not Shri. Shri is a name given to me. It's an imposition. I am actually the self. If you can bring that, if you can bring that perception for 1 second, for one moment, and this perception, when this perception will come, all the other impositions will not be there. Adhunaiva sukhi shanti bandha muktosi evasa. Then at this moment itself, you will be completely free from all attachments and you will attain eternal peace and happiness. Understand? So Vedanta is not so hard.
Yes, indeed, when I hear from you like these words so close to you sitting, I'm very fortunate for that. That is when I realize it's not that hard, but I always could not understand it so well as I could now.
That is why it says that you have to go to a guru.
Yeah.
That is what it says.
That's true.
If you go, that Manushyatam, Mumukshutam, Mahapurush Sangshraya. You cannot do it on your own because you cannot perceive the truth.
No.
And also you cannot go to the professor because the professor can tell you about the self. He can define you. He can give you better definition than what I'm giving.
Yeah.
He will tell you everything.
Very academic.
He will tell you everything of the Upanishad, where this Upanishad is written, that I don't know anything. But with the grace of the master, I know what it is. What it is. And that is why it feels so easy.
So for those who have not discovered their guru and who is interested in being in the path, and as a minimum, let's say they do the typical polytheistic practices and our Hinduism practices where you follow Krishna, you follow Durga, you follow Shiva, or even for those who want to be in a spiritual path but that comes from an atheist or agnostic and they're not ready to like surrender completely to a thing or a statue as a god, then is that a solution? Is there a solution?
Actually,
there? So can I take those ways to reach what you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, you have to do it with full conviction, with full sincerity. Your sincerity will bring you to this place. Like we talk about Einstein. Einstein was a scientist. But I see Einstein as a rishi. He was the one who actually knew or understood or felt consciousness in matter. Now, how did he do it? He was not a Vedantin, he was a scientist. But because his pursuit for truth was so genuine, he was so sincere, that sincerity brought him towards this metaphysical reality. And that is why he gave this, this quantum physics. He came to that point where he established a relationship between energy and matter. If you see this, E is equal to mc square, it's not like just a theory of science. If you go to depth, you will see that actually he had established a relationship between matter and energy or consciousness. The same which we have in the Upanishads. Okay, he was the one who said that there is God. How did he know that there is God? Because his dedication, his sincerity took him to this place. So whether you are an agnostic, whether you are an atheist, whether you are whatever, you are a Krishna devotee, you are a Islam, you are from Christianity, you are whatever, everybody considers something to be true. Be true to that truth.
Yeah.
If you are a Krishna devotee, be true there. Okay? If you are from Islam, go deep into that. If you are from Christianity, go and try to meet Christ, feel Him. Okay? So when you have a genuine approach, then you will see that you have come to this point of Advaita. Advaita is not separate from anything. Advaita is the destination of everything. Advaita means where everything comes and becomes one. It's like a big ocean, huge ocean, where all the rivers, lakes, everything comes and meets. So this is Advaita.
Right.
So whatever you do, whatever you practice it with your whole heart. Be sincere to that. What I've seen is that, Shri, when I was with Bhagwan, after that, when he said that now you go and you start doing this, and he used to say that, I have, from till now you are practicing, you are practicing the nets. Like, have you seen in the circus?
Yes. Yeah.
They're practicing the net.
Yeah.
So one day he said that now I'm going to remove this net. So when we were with Bhagwan, we were very good. We were all very spiritual. We had nothing, no difficulty of meditating, nothing. We were all very comfortable. Now one day he said that now you forget about this. Now you go there. And I'm now removing the net. So the moment I went into the world to preach or to be there, I saw that my mind went back to the same place where I was before. Very chaotic and very, very, distracted.
Yeah.
Now, first for some time, I didn't realize that I'm in this place, and I thought that is normal. But then suddenly one day I realized, wow, I am always busy with something. I cannot put my mind in one point. I cannot stay calm. Either I have to do this, either I have to do that. If I don't do this or that, I think about something. There is no point where I can just sit and relax.
Life of a karma yogi.
Yeah. Or, I can come into one complete rest. We say that we take rest, but we don't come to this complete rest. So then, I started to meditate for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I could see that I cannot meditate. So this 10 minutes became 5 minutes, 5 minutes to 2 minutes, 1 minute, even 1 minute I couldn't meditate. Then I started to meditate every moment. This moment I will meditate. Just now. This moment of complete involvement, complete, devotion, complete dedication into this takes me to another moment. And the devotion goes with that. The dedication goes with that. The concentration goes with that. But that moment again creates another moment. In this way, slowly, I practice this. So, it's not about quantity, how much time you give. It is the quality, how much mind you give, how much effort you give, how much genuine you are. That's all. That's all.
Indeed, today's world, more and more people are going away from religion and then entering into, yes, scientific, but also more thought-provoking processes and paths, spiritual paths like Vedantin. And indeed, you have given us a very good perspective and helped all of the people that are watching it to learn more and understand more about International Vedanta Society, about Bhagwan, Sri Bhagwan, and also about yourself, because there is a lot to explore, and like a short podcast is very little to be able to explain and explore everything. But indeed, I have to thank you from the behalf of everyone to share your kind words and your time. I know you are really running short of time, but I really appreciate you for giving this time.
Thank you, Sri.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate your effort.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.